What do you do when your heart's desire is to be obedient to the Lord, but you're not really sure if you are being obedient? He hasn't said anything to confirm it, and you're kind of just waiting around to see if you were being obedient. The Lord brought me to the woman in 1 Kings 17 whose food was running out, and Elijah asked for her last. I always thought it was very interesting. How did she know that this man was from God? I'm a mother. If a stranger came up to me and said, bake me some bread, and I only had a little bit left for my son, I'm going to be like, you can kick rocks. Like, I'm going to make some for my kid and then we out. But she didn't do that. There had to be something within her that felt like it was right, but honestly wasn't sure. He said, Diana, what if it's that I bless your heart posture in respect to obedience than the very act of obedience itself? We always hear these grand messages about obeying the Lord, but most times we're feeling our way around in the darkness, not really knowing if we are being obedient or not until after the fact. What if he blessed her with the continuous oil simply because she was willing to obey if the command was from the Lord? He said, sometimes, Diana, you're not going to know if you heard from me or not. You're not going to know if I told you to stay or if I told you to go, if I told you to release something or if I told you to start something. But what is the posture of your heart within that space of the unknown? Sometimes we compartmentalize God into this box, thinking he only works in one way, when he says continuously in Scripture that he looks at the inward appearance. We look on at the outside. What is it that we're doing? Am I doing this right? Am I moving in the right direction? Most would say that the woman who gave her last to Elijah, while she had a whole son to provide for, was logically moving in the wrong direction. We could be moving in the wrong direction, but the Lord sees our heart posture, and he decides to take that wrong direction and turn it for good just because our heart was willing. He said, Diana, the widow was willing. She didn't know that it was me. He said, there's going to be times where you're feeling around in the dark and you're not really sure. You could have the heart to obey and be walking in the wrong direction, but I am a big enough God to make that walk in the wrong direction become right simply because of your heart. Everyone that you hear is moving forward in faith is typically moving forward in darkness. They're not always sure, but I am a God that's bigger than your inability to be sure. Are you obeying just to get something or just to be rewarded or just to brag? Or is your heart posture saying, Lord, I'm willing to follow you wherever you tell me to go, no matter how crazy it looks, even when I'm unsure? My heart is saying that I'm willing because that's what I see.